Hi everyone, welcome back to the Strawberry Loli channel. This is your friendly neighborhood Slytherin Ren. I know it's been like 500 years since I uploaded. Well, I have been uploading shorts and reels and short form content pretty consistently. This is my first long form review video in a couple of weeks, and don't you worry, it's not gonna stop anytime soon. A situation came up that caught me very off guard. I'm just gonna say that I'm dealing with it right now. It's under control and I'm not gonna give it any more energy than that. Honestly, I was planning to film this video yesterday, which is a Sunday, but I ended up getting my period yesterday and was basically incapacitated. Is that a word? I was unable to move the entire day because the period cramps were just so bad. They weren't like level 10 on a scale of 1 to 10, but it was that kind where it was just steadily like at a 6 or 7 the whole day, enough to keep me from really doing anything productive. That being said though, the fact that my period did come yesterday is actually what I believe to be like a blessing from the universe. I believe it's a present from the universe. I believe they threw me a bone because it means that I will be able to get my period over with by the time that I have to perform in my dance show on Saturday, this Saturday, which is September 10th. It's crazy because I do keep track of my period in my planner, my diary. I think the average length of a cycle is supposed to be 28 days for the average woman. At least that's what I learned when I was 13 in health class. I don't know what the numbers are now, but for me, it's always been consistently like 30 days exactly. Sometimes I would have like, I don't know, weird months where I'd skip a month or it would come a week early. Those were very few and far between instances that only happened during particularly stressful or weird times. But yeah, for the most part, my menstrual cycle is 30 days exactly. Is this video gonna get flagged, by the way, because I'm talking about girl biology stuff? Because it better not, because that would be called sexism, YouTube. So I've been tracking my period for like probably more than a decade by now. I remember doing it ever since I was in college. It's been pretty much consistently 30 days throughout my entire adult life. But this time around, if you do the math, my last period started on August 10th, which means that this month, if we were going by the normal calculation of 30 days, I would be scheduled to start my period this month on September 9th, which would be right before the September 10th dance show. It's the first time that I'm actually going to be dancing on a stage with the group that I'm a part of. So I was actually bracing myself to prepare for that to happen, like having to dance in the show on my period on top of everything else that's going on right now. But lo and behold, it came to me like a lightning bolt out of the sky yesterday. I don't think I've ever been more grateful to have cramps in my life. It's so weird, right? But at the same time, it makes so much sense, especially if you believe in manifestation and law of attraction and all of that, like I do. Don't worry about me, everything's fine. I do have everything under control. I mean, the stuff that I can control, I feel like I have it down pat, right? Whatever anyone else decides, that's not for me to stick my nose in there. That's for the universe to take care of. On the one hand, your girl is fine. She's thriving. She is winning at life as usual. Keep your fingers crossed for me though, if you could. Like, keep me in your prayers. Send good vibes and feelings towards me if you're so inclined. Yeah, just so that I have some extra vibes protection just in case, okay? I'm sorry to be so vague, but like I really do walk that talk, you know? I'm not just saying that I'm into manifestation and all of that because it's trending on social media. I actually do try my best to live and abide by those principles of positive thinking, positive self-concept, and all of that. Like, I do those mental exercises every single day. It's not just to follow a trend. Like, I consciously do put effort into focusing only on the positives and only on my desired outcomes, as opposed to like the negative or the self-doubt kind of thoughts that creep up in all of us, because we're all human. But it is possible for you to train yourself to ignore those and redirect your focus every time on the positive. So anyway, now that I've updated you a little bit on myself, let's get into the makeup. Just a quick casual little new Japanese drugstore release video that I have for you today. I picked up Cezanne's newest addition to their beige tone eyeshadow quad series. This one is in 03 and it's called Antique Beige. Whenever I see the word antique, I immediately think of that old school VK band Antique Cafe, which I used to listen to religiously in high school. They were one of the cuter sounding bands back then. Yeah, so even though they were like an obscure Japanese band that nobody else in my hometown in New Jersey knew about, I still I attribute that word to them. Like, they might as well have invented the word antique as far as I'm concerned. Just thought I would share that with you guys for some reason. I don't know. Any other antique cafe, or an cafe as they're shortened to in Japanese, fans out there, leave a like on this video and comment your favorite song by them. I don't know if I can pick like a favorite. I mean, the one that I always go back to in my playlist whenever I'm feeling nostalgic is Candy Holic, even though that's one of the really old ones. It might even have been on their demo tape, but I don't know, that's the kind of sound I liked the most actually, like that rough around the edges demo tape kind of grungy sound. Anyway, so we're going to be testing out the beige tone eyeshadow by Cezanne in Antique Beige, and I wanted to specifically see how it would compare to 02 Rosy Beige. I actually have Rosy Beige on my right eye right now so that we can apply Antique Beige to my left eye, and we'll see just how different they look. This is a beige toned eyeshadow quad line after all, so I want to see, like, do they really look that different, or are they pretty much the same? So I wanted to see, like, how different do they really look in terms of color and tone. You know how notorious Japanese or all Asian makeup is for looking pretty much the same. Yeah, the only color variation I don't have is 01 Nuts Beige, because that one is the coolest toned out of all three, and I'm just not into cool toned eyeshadows at the moment. Actually, I lied here. I do have 01 Nuts Beige. I totally forgot that Meg handed me down her Nuts Beige palette. So there you go. Now you guys get to see all three swatched next to each other. And then I also picked up this new glitter liquid liner by Cezanne. It's called the Glow Liquid Liner. Tsuamik Tome ka eyeliner, which means like sparkling, glittery, see-through eyeliner. And as you can tell from the diagram back here, you can use this as a top coat. You can use it to brighten up your tear bag area as well as your inner corner. I mean, you can use it as a lip topper too if you wanted to. No one's gonna stop you. It has a very watery base, and the glitters are not that impactful looking in my opinion. It does smell good. I will give it that. It has a nice fresh scent that I like. But yeah, I feel like at this point I'm just so spoiled by the really beautiful, chunky, dynamic Korean glitters out there, or even pressed glitters from Western brands, that this is not something that I would find myself really gravitating towards that often. But I also respect the fact that this is not supposed to be in that class of glitters. Cezanne is really just doing their own thing here with a very affordable, subtle, glowy liquid liner for the regular working girl that likes neutral makeup. So I can respect that. Alright, so again, I already have a Rosy Beige on my right eye, and let's just go ahead and apply the new color on my left. By the way, these quads each contain 1 lame or glitter shade, 2 pearl shades, and 1 matte. Okay, so this is what we've got so far. I haven't put on any of the Glow liquid liner yet, but so far, as you can see, there is, to my eye, virtually no difference between the two palettes. Actually, as I was applying this reddish brown, like, burgundy shade down here from the newest palette, 03, that was the only point in my makeup application where I felt like I could distinguish between both of my eyes. Up until then, everything else, like the remaining 3 shades aside from the darkest one in the bottom right corner here, I feel like they all have a virtually identical looking finished effect on either one of my eyes. Even the glitter shades, it looks like in the pan for sure that 03 is more cool toned than 02, but as you can see on my lids, they look like exactly the same. No, like exactly the same, like exactly the same. Okay, yeah, I can tell in the mirror that my left eye is just slightly, ever so slightly warmer than my right eye, but again, as I mentioned before, I feel like that is pretty much 100% attributed to this one burgundy shade down here. In all honesty, I do think there's a little bit of significance here, because even though you can't really tell, I feel like you can't really tell with the naked eye, especially through the camera lens, a difference in the color schemes. But for me, I can definitely still sense or gauge that this side is a little bit more warmer looking. And since that is the aesthetic that I'm into these days, that means I will probably be reaching for 03 more often than 02 from here on out. But yeah, I actually was hoping for them to be a little bit more obviously discernible. Clearly that's not the case though, as you can see from these results. You know, it's crazy. You really gotta try things out to know for sure a lot of times when it comes to makeup. Alright, now let's go ahead and apply this Glow liquid liner to my tear bag and inner corner. It has kind of like a watery, jelly-like base, which I do appreciate because it doesn't feel as tight as some other liquid glitters that I have when it dries down. Like there's less of a gluey feel to it, which I appreciate. It's just a nice light layer of glitter, and since it's liquid, you don't have to worry about it flaking off that easily. Okay, I feel like I'm having another moment where it's like I kind of underestimated Cezanne a little bit and they just slapped me in the face with just their genius and their veteran status in the Japanese drugstore business. Like, is it just me, or is this glitter the most beautiful, subtle, exquisite, finely milled yet super reflective looking glitter you've ever seen? Okay, honestly, like I have thought of this before and then totally forgot about it, but now using this reminds me of what I was thinking before, of how if you have smaller or more delicate, dainty looking eyes like I do, sometimes the bigger, chunkier looking K-beauty glitters or Western beauty brand glitters, they tend to overwhelm your eyes a little bit, or especially if you have like hooded eyes or something. It's not that you can't get them to work, but sometimes you really have to place it strategically or not put on as much if you don't want it to look, if you don't want it to come out looking gaudy, if that makes sense. I know that there are people out there who can relate to what I'm talking about. So having a liquid glitter eyeliner with much more finely milled, smaller particles of glitter in there is actually really helpful to, again, like I mentioned, those of us with maybe daintier or harder to work with eyes, monolids, half folds, what have you. I feel like it just looks more expensive and high-end than some of the chunkier glitters can achieve. And yeah, basically I totally underestimated this Glow liquid liner. Let me see, I didn't even tell you guys the name. So they started out with number 10, interestingly enough, even though this is a brand new product and formula and everything, the Glow liquid liner. And the name is Clear Sugar. That's such a pretty name. I, for one, am really hoping and actually anticipating that they're gonna come out with more shades of this line. If you look closely, this one is like very silver based obviously, but if you look really closely, the little particles in there are all actually pretty multicolored when they catch the light. It's like confetti almost. Wow, did not expect to be so impressed by this liquid glitter. I'm telling you, Cezanne is not playing with us this year, okay? Everything new that they've been coming out with so far this year has been, in my book, pretty much a home run. Like these beige tone eyeshadow quads, I don't think anyone needs more than one of these, so that's the only thing. Like once you find the one that suits your style and your undertone the best, I would say don't bother with the other two. And then yeah, the Glow liquid liner, which you just saw me be completely blown away by how just expensive it makes everything look. Like it's really, really great. I didn't even expect it to be this reflective because I felt like it was pretty clear when I swatched it on my hand, but the glitter particles are actually like very, very reflective and very pretty. Not just all the same silver glitter, it has a subtle confetti effect there. So yeah, there you have it. Those are my thoughts on some of the newest releases to come out from Cezanne. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!